Alright everyone, what's going on? Luke the Toxic Nintendo Fanboy here. Alright guys, so I just completed Welcome to Hanwell, this game right here. So guys, I am working on a new series called Indie Horror Goodness. And in this series, basically what it is, now if you're familiar with horror games and Nintendo Switch, you know that most of the horror games on the Switch are indie games, some good, some bad. And in this series called Indie Horror Goodness, I basically play some of the more popular indie horror games on the Switch and tell you if they are good or not. I was planning on reviewing Lust for Darkness, which is a well-known indie horror game, at least I think, but that game is 14 gigabytes to download, and I am actually all out of storage on my micro SD card. So I'm gonna have to buy another micro SD card in order to play that game, but I have played it a little bit, and so far it's terrible. The frame rate's terrible, the story seems cliche, etc., etc. But for now, since I just completed Welcome to Hanwell, and by reading the title, this is the game that we're going to be reviewing. So the categories that we're going to be focusing on is story, gameplay, the scare factor, performances, graphics, and the soundtrack and frustrations. So let's start off with the story. So the story of Welcome to Hanwell, it is a psychological survival horror game, and you're basically in this city and something terrible has happened, and there's all these little anomalies like these monsters and shit, and like there's ghost girls and like these crazy weird crawling monsters. I don't know what the fuck it is, but yeah. So in the game, that's pretty much what it is. And there's this doctor guy. Spoilers. Well, maybe not, because I actually don't really understand the story myself. But I'm hoping this is what it is. There's like this doctor, and like he's doing all these weird experiments, and surprise, surprise, that's where all the anomalies are coming from. He's responsible for it. And yeah, that's basically what the story is. Do I think the story is good? Well, this concept of the story seems okay. I mean, I could definitely see this playing out in a better executed horror game, but yeah, the story is alright. But that's pretty much sums up the story. There's a doctor, he's doing all these crazy experiments, and that's where the anomalies are coming from, and he's basically trying to take over Hanwell, which is the city of this game. So I hope that's what the story is. I mean, if you guys have played this game, then you should also know how confusing this story is, but I'm hoping that is what the story is, because I really don't know, to be honest. I mean, I'm guessing that's what the story is. Now, gameplay, the more important thing. So when you first start in this game, you're basically in like this place, and like the game like it basically lets you get right into it. Like you're walking around, and the game immediately starts asking you to do objectives, and immediately you're chased by this giant dude. He kind of looks like Chris Walker, like a more dumbed down version of Chris Walker. Sorry guys, I'm an Outlast fan. I always have to mention Outlast in these games, but yeah, he looks like Chris Walker kind of. I know, I'm not sure if I have a picture of him in my album, but yeah, just yeah. So basically, what you're doing in this game is very open world, which is kind of strange. It's I've never seen something like this in a horror game before, besides The Evil Within 2. But yeah, it's basically an open world game. You could explore all you want. The map is pretty huge, actually. I gotta say, the map for this game is freaking huge. And it's kind of annoying walking around trying to get from point A to point B, because your character is kind of slow. But yeah, so what you're doing in this game is you basically have to collect 6 card pieces in order to get to this weird building, where you then have to do a bunch more objectives, and then you have to kill the doctor. So you're basically looking for 6 card pieces, and they are hidden amongst Hanwell, and they are in like buildings, and like you basically have to get to each building in order to get the card pieces. And when you get into each building, you'll then have to do a bunch of objectives and go through a bunch of scares in order to get the card. But yeah, this game is objective based. You're gonna be doing a whole lot of objectives and a whole lot of puzzles. And you could also fight enemies in this game, which is also surprising. This game is very surprising, as terrible as it is. Um, but yeah, like you could actually there's like you know the ghost girl, like you know the cliche ghost girl where she's all bloody and she's got the long hair. Like you could actually fucking smack her in the face with a fucking frying pan or a goddamn machete. And that's really fucking surprising. So yeah, you could actually fight back against the little monsters and the ghost girls that chase you in this game. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the gameplay. So, yeah, now let's get to the scare factor. Now, luckily, Welcome to Hanwell actually did make me scream quite a few times. There's all kinds of jump scares. The enemies that chase you, they're not very scary. I mean, when you're about to die, yeah, but like, to be honest, they're just not that scary. But the jump scares are. The jump scares do work in this game, and they are pretty fucking scary. You're gonna get jump scared, and if you have a tolerance for jump scares, then you'll either like it or like I don't know. I don't know how you guys like it, but yeah, that's basically it. So I guess this game does have some good scares. Also, there is a couple of disturbing images in this game. So I guess that's another good thing about it. So scare factor for Welcome to Hanwell is okay. It's all right. So now we're going to be talking about graphics and performance. Now, me being a criticizer of indie games, all indie games, horror or not, I was honestly expecting this game to run like pure shit. But it actually doesn't, and it's quite a surprise. I was actually not expecting the game to run as good as it does on the Nintendo Switch. Some areas of the game are a little clunky. Some areas of the game do have some noticeably bad frame rate, but it does get a lot better. It does get a lot better. The game looks pretty good too. For an indie game, the game does look somewhat okay. Like, sure, there's a little bit of gloomy images here and there, but other than that, the game definitely looks okay. So now we're going to be talking about the soundtrack. The soundtrack for Welcome to Hanwell is a soundtrack that I feel can be compared to Outlast 2 and Zombie Army 4. The soundtrack for this game is very good. It does get a little obnoxious at times, but it's all right. You know, it's okay. Definitely not the best, but the soundtrack, yeah, it's good. I mean, at some point, the soundtrack actually made me more scared than the game's enemies. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is the game's atmosphere. The atmosphere for this game is another good thing I could talk about. The atmosphere is pretty good so far. Alright guys, now we're going to be talking about the frustrations and why this game has the reputation it does and why this game mostly sucks way more dick than any of the ladies at my local strip club. This game has a whole lot of frustrations, unfortunately, guys. So, number one, so like when you're trying to finish the game and when you're exploring, like personally, I wanted to complete this game. That was my main priority. I did like doing some exploring. I did explore a lot of the buildings, but for the most part, my main priority was to find all the card pieces and finish the game. Now, this game does not tell you at all where the card pieces are. I mean, was it too much to ask the developers that they like where the game tells you, hey, go in this building, or hey, check around this area of the map and maybe that's where the card piece is, like that's where the building that has the card piece is. You know, like, so I literally had no idea where I had to go. If it wasn't for Super G Gaming, I had to watch his entire walkthrough in order to know where the card pieces were. Luckily, I did stumble upon one of them, which was the police station, and the game actually did tell me that there was a card piece, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Like, this is where a card piece is hidden. So luckily, I did stumble upon some, and the game did tell you that there was one in the church. But other than that, the game literally tells you. The game doesn't tell you where the card pieces are, man, and it's fucking annoying. That just makes me rely on other people's walkthroughs. Also, how the hell did Super G Gaming know where all the card pieces were? Unless he had to watch another guy's walkthrough or something, or I don't know. Unless Super G Gaming has a whole lot of patience, which I don't have, so maybe that was a problem. But still. So the second annoying thing is this game fucking cheap shots the hell out of you guys. Like, after you're done inside of a building getting the card pieces, you will lose your weapon. So like, in any case you lose your weapon, the game will literally send an enemy after you to kill you. The game will literally wait for you to drop your weapon in order to send one of its enemies after you, which will kill you. It is god awful annoying. This game literally cheap shots you guys. It'll wait till you don't have a weapon, and then it will send an enemy after you, whichever one it is, and they'll just kill you. Also, I forgot to mention that this game has fucking giant spiders or whatever, but yeah, this game is kind of weird also, but yeah. So that is another huge frustration for me. Also, this game has a lot of bugs too. Like, I had this one problem where I was entering in like a pin on one of the like the little puzzle things, and even after I was pressing on like the little number, like the game just didn't register it, and I had to like double tap it, and whenever I would double tap it, it would go for like 3-3 when I was only supposed to go like for like 3-1-2. So like I had to just keep doing it and redoing it. So that's a problem right there, guys. That's a problem right there. So yeah. Also, this game kind of has some frustrating objectives as well. The objectives are a bit frustrating and they're a bit tedious, so yeah, that's another frustration. So, yeah, guys, that's that was Welcome to Hanwell. That's the Welcome to Hanwell for Nintendo Switch. Those are most of the frustrations that I had with the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about Welcome to Hanwell. I actually heard that there was a sequel to this game. And I really want to see what it is because, like, I'm hoping it's better. What do I think of the game? Yeah, I thought it was all right, guys. I mean, it's definitely not that good of a horror game. So here's how my scores work. 1 out of 10 means like absolutely terrible game, worst game ever, not even worth a single dollar. 2 out of 10 means absolute dog shit, not worth your time, money, or storage. 3 out of 10 means very, very bad, definitely not worth it. 4 out of 10 means not very good. Maybe if it's $5 and never play it again. 5 out of 10 means not too bad, but not too good either. 6 out of 10 means alright. 7 out of 10 means pretty good. And 8 out of 10 means very, very good. Definitely recommended. 9 out of 10 means amazing, worth the time and money. And 10 out of 10 means most amazing game ever made. It needs to be in your collection no matter what. Welcome to Hanwell sits at around a 4 out of 10. I would not recommend getting this game, at least for full price. I feel like spending $15 on this game, which is the full price, is probably the most irresponsible thing you could do. Unless this game is like maybe, I don't know, maybe like $5 or $6, maybe even $8. Like, yeah, fucking $8. If this game was like around that price range, definitely try it if you must. But yeah, Welcome to Hanwell gets a 4 out of 10. Not very good. Don't get unless it's on sale. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching my review for Welcome to Hanwell on the Nintendo Switch. Let me know what you guys think about it. Also, shout out to SUPA Gaming for actually completing this game and having the patience to do it. So, yeah, shout out to him. And, yeah, guys, that was it. Thank you so much for watching. This is Luke, the Toxic Nintendo Fanboy, signing off. Bye-bye, guys.